Welcome back to another episode of Inside Outlook. Tokyo Vice is the name of a memoir published in 2009 about an American named Jake Adelstein being a crime reporter for a large newspaper in Japan. The memoir covers his 12 years on the job, from 1993 to 2004. I read the book last year, and it's a somewhat informative look at the Tokyo underworld, but it is more of a memoir about an American bragging about his sexual conquests in Japan. He also brags about using martial arts successfully against certain people. The author is just an annoying guy lecturing people about drug use and describing the attractiveness of every female he meets. It's an easy and sometimes funny read, though. I rate the memoir a B-. The veracity of the memoir has been called into question by various people, including some of Jake's colleagues at the newspaper he worked for. But the overall sense of the Japanese underworld does come through regardless. There is a TV show based on the memoir that came out in April of 2022. Now, there are a lot of TV shows these days, too many to keep track of, and I've barely watched any of them. I'm mostly a book reader because books are usually better than TV shows, but not always. The Tokyo Vice TV show is far superior to the book. This is a no-spoiler review of the show. The first season is 8 episodes, and the second season comes out February 8th of this year, 2024. It's on HBO Max. HBO is the gold standard for TV shows. The show is set between 1999 and 2001. Unlike the memoir, the show has a coherent story and a static cast of characters. There's Jake Adelstein, and just like in the memoir, he's a crime reporter for a Japanese newspaper. The TV character is actually more believable than how Adelstein describes himself in the memoir. But just like in the memoir, Adelstein is apparently a badass martial artist who uses Aikido on Yakuza thugs. Aikido is a joke martial art. I mean, it's cool and interesting, but it's not practical in a real fight. No one is just going to let you grab their wrist in real life. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art you could actually use in a real street fight, but it doesn't look as good on camera because it's basically just taking someone down and choking them, which is not as cool looking as kicks and flips. Detective Katagiri is a detective in the organized crime division. He's playing the long game against the Yakuza, whereas Adelstein wants instant justice. I found this character a little boring because he's a family man, stalwart of justice. Not really exciting, but he's a major character. Samantha Porter is an American expat like Adelstein. She works in a hostess club and is one of the main characters. I don't want to say too much about her because at first she's mysterious and you find more out about her over the 8 episodes. Detective Miyamoto is a Vice Squad detective that Adelstein works with to get information. And he has the more traditional hard-boiled vibe. Sato is a Yakuza gangster, but he has a good heart. Even though he is a fan favorite, his character is a little too Hollywood for me. His personality just doesn't seem consistent. He goes back and forth between grizzled thug and naive schoolboy. I know that is part of the dynamic, but it just didn't really work for me. Didn't lessen my enjoyment for the show, though. Emi Maruyama is Adelstein's direct boss at the newspaper. She provides some comic relief, and like Detective Katagiri, she's trying to make the world a better place, even if only in small increments. The show revolves around the newspaper, the police, the Yakuza, and the hostess bars. There is also the cliche gangster rivalry between the old guard Ishida Yakuza and the up-and-coming Tozawa Yakuza. The characters are good-ish, the show has high production quality, the plot is your basic Hollywood stuff. What really makes the show stand out is the Tokyo underworld setting. So if the setting is interesting to you, you'll probably like the show. And if it's not, and you don't like a lot of the dialogue being Japanese with subtitles, then you probably won't like the show. It starts off slow. After the first episode, I thought it was a bit boring, but I kept watching and started to really like it. So my final verdict is to skip reading the memoir and watch the TV show. The first season ends on a cliffhanger, so keep in mind you are also signing up to watch season 2. One last thought, I gotta say, there was a lot of cigarette smoking in the show. It was sort of triggering, not because I hate cigarette smokers, but I just wanted to tell the characters to think about their health, especially the female characters, since women have less lung capacity and are twice as likely to get lung cancer from cigarettes. I know the show wants to be authentic, but really, I don't think the show would have been any different if there was no cigarette smoking. And there was a lot of cigarette smoking. Again, not trying to lecture anyone, just from a health nerd perspective, the cigarette smoking stood out to me. That's all for today's show. If you have any thoughts, disagreements, whatever, let me know in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell to get updated about the next episode. Thank you.